Paulo Rebelo and Psychoff are two of the most successful football traders in the history of Betfair, winning millions trading and betting on the beautiful game. Luckily for us, both Psychoff and Paulo Rebelo have done multiple interviews and made videos giving away some valuable pointers that we can take as aspiring football traders and bettors. The first point that I took away from Paulo Rebelo is that short odds can actually have a lot of value, and this is contrary to what a lot of people think, especially when they get into sports betting. We're all looking at the big odds, we're all looking at a big win, and in a way I think that's because we've been trained by the media to look at that as success. We always hear about the guy that hit the massive accumulator, the 1,000-to-1 accumulator, and changed his life, or the plumber that stuck a tenner on Leicester to win the Premier League back in 2016 at 5,000-to-1. We always hear about these massive wins, but the bookmakers love long odds because this is usually where they have their biggest margins, and when you're combining them in an accumulator, you're just giving them a bigger edge. And what Paulo Rebelo has talked about is that at short odds, backing, odds of like 1.2, 1.1, these can actually be very big value. You might be thinking, how do short odds have value? For example, if you're staking at odds of 1.22, you have to risk £100 and you only win £22. That seems like a terrible trade-off. However, if you're backing a team like Bayern Munich or Manchester City, and they're playing one of the weaker teams in the league, and you really believe that there's about a 90% chance that Man City or Bayern Munich are going to win, that 1.22 actually represents really good value because the implied probability of odds of 1.22 are 82%. So if you think it wins 90% of the time, then there's a lot of value in that bet. And Paulo Rebelo has talked about this and how often he would actually target short odds to win over the long term. The next pointer that I took from Paulo Rebelo and Psychoff is that having access to live pictures can be an edge in itself. So there's a well-known saying, and it is that a picture paints 1,000 words. And that's very true. Live pictures can show you much more than just pure statistics can. Now, statistics by themselves, you can obviously use to profit from football betting, and I'm sure there are many that have done very well just using pure statistical analysis to make money. However, with live pictures, you can sometimes get an edge that you couldn't just using pure stats. For example, a manager might be making upcoming substitutions which you think are going to affect the game in an attacking or a defensive way. The only way that you can see that is through live pictures. Statistics are not going to tell you, and you can react much quicker with live pictures as well to player injuries. There could be weather changes, there could be heavy rain. There are lots of things that you can only really react to quickly when you see them using live pictures. The third point that I took from these two very successful football traders is that even the best traders in the world will go through losing periods and have losing bets and losing trades.
Were you building your bankroll through trading, or was it through, just your normal sports betting methods? And who did you learn from during that time?
I explained this with details in one of my interviews. First of all, I started with a very small bank, and I had a very big success in a very short period of time, and won really serious money for me. And I started to make lots of mistakes, increased my stakes too much and too early, and lost everything. And then I stopped trading, and I said I will never trade again. And
which is comforting to hear. I've been betting and trading for over 10 years now, and there is one thing that I know that is unavoidable in this game, and that is that you will have losing bets and trades, and you will have losing periods. Emotional control is probably one of the biggest factors in what separates long-term winning sports bettors and traders from the ones that lose, because everybody loses at some point, and it is how you handle those losses which really shows long-term. Do you lose 4 or 5 trades and then suddenly you're chucking your whole bankroll on the next trade in order to try and get some of that money back? Or do you just accept that it's part of the process, kind of separate it and just carry on with your process, carry on finding value, knowing that over the long term you're going to win? The next pointer that I took is to understand the market that you are betting in. So for example, on a Monday night, there's a Premier League game on, and that's the only televised game going on at that time. That's going to have a lot of money on both sides of the market, and you're going to be able to employ pretty much any strategy you want. You'll be able to do a scalping strategy, but you'll be able to get in and out on corners, on free kicks. There are lots of ways that you can trade a Premier League game. However, a League 2 game on a Saturday, where there are hundreds of other games and it's not televised, is just not going to have the same liquidity. You're really going to struggle to get in and out of the market very quickly. And if you were looking at that market, then you might want to employ a value betting strategy rather than a trading strategy. And this is the big difference between different markets. You need to understand which strategies you can use and when you can use them. Overall, Paulo Rebelo and Psychoff have given us lots of little glimpses into how they trade the market, and there are multiple approaches to profiting from trading football on Betfair. There isn't just one approach that works. So if you want to learn more about how these guys approach the market, I'll add multiple links in the description. Paulo Rebelo has his own channel, which, although it's in Portuguese, you can use captions and you can understand what he's speaking about, and you can build an understanding of the key concepts of the videos that he makes. And Psychoff has done multiple interviews with the likes of BetAngel, Carnberry and TradeMate, which are well worth listening to as well. Alright, that pretty much wraps things up. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a like and subscribe to the channel. Other than that, have a good one.